engine components, jet engine elements, and implants. Complicated or especially sophisticated components can be easily produced with 3D printing technologies. Researchers at the Fraunhofer Institute for Laser Technology in Aachen, Germany, are developing various laser printing technologies that are also used in medical technology. Dominique Riester works with LiftSys, a prototype machine that enables scientists to print three-dimensional structures based on biomaterials via the so-called laser-induced forward transfer method, or LIFT for short. The LIFT method uses a three-layer system. One transparent layer for the laser beam, one layer that is absorbed by the laser beam, and the bottom layer we want to transfer. The laser beam passes through the transparent layer, is absorbed in the absorber layer, and heat is produced. This heat is being transferred to the transfer layer. This generates a steam bubble that expands and collapses again. Material is attracted by the transfer layer due to the collapsing process and separates. This creates a drop. Ultimately, you can envision this entire process like a coffee commercial, where a drop lands in the cup and then detaches again afterwards. This drop is caught at the bottom, and I'm then able to systematically build structures with this drop. Dominique Riester and his colleagues use hydrogels to print with LiftSys. These jelly-like substances provide great conditions for the three-dimensional growth of living cells. We are currently investigating three applications for LiftSys. There's the production of in vitro test systems for the pharmaceutical industry on the one hand. The idea here is to specifically produce cell structures with which active ingredients can then be tested for their effectiveness. Our second goal is to develop test systems for personalized medicine. In this case, you extract cells from patients and build structures with which you can adjust the medicine the patient needs, for instance. Ultimately, we also want to build larger structures using the system to synthesize organ-like structures. This could replace entire organs in patients. Other 3D printing methods like selective laser melting produce larger components such as implants. Lucas Jauer works with this SLM technology, which is already being used in medical technology. Selective laser melting is a 3D printing method with which we build components in layers. We apply a very thin layer of powder in the 10th micrometer range and then selectively melt the powder with a laser beam. Then we use it to build our component in layers. The component can be designed on the computer. We divide it into several layers that we fuse. So we design a 3D component using a 2D process and are thus able to realize geometric freedoms that cannot be achieved with other methods. Selective laser melting can be used for many different areas. It's typically used for bone and joint replacements. We are able to manufacture individualized implants, for instance, in oral and maxillofacial surgery, meaning everything pertaining to the skull. We can design our implant on the computer based on the patient's CT data. Right here we have an absorbable implant based on polylactide and beta-tricalcium phosphate. The SLM method also has another advantage: we can insert this pore structure. By using this pore structure, new bone can be incorporated into the implant while the implant dissolves in the body. During the entire time, the tissue is therefore strengthened internally, while mechanical stability is being maintained. Many more things are possible in this particular area. The print technology is also suited for the facial, cheekbone, or especially the jaw area. There are basically no limits to this process. Another example is an individualized acetabulum socket for hip replacement. In this case, it's made of titanium. This plate attachment is what's being individualized. It's used when there are major body defects and conventional hip sockets can no longer be used. Whether it's hip sockets or in vitro test systems, 3D printing can have many uses in medical technology. Researchers at the Fraunhofer ILT are working on ever more precise and efficient laser technologies that are meant to benefit patients all over the world.